Dr. James J.C. Cooley. That's right. Let's go. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. All right.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on The Answer. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on The Answer.
Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. Got a good friend of mine that's going to come on, talk a little bit about fitness and health and things that he is so passionate about. So I'll tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching us on, whether you're watching us on E360 Television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, and over 84 other platforms, welcome to the show. If you want to be part of this conversation that we're going to have, all you have to do is just go to the comments on the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. How you doing, Dr. Cooley? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Had a beautiful Easter service yesterday. Celebrated a fellowship with the church, and it was a beautiful day. It really was.
It was a beautiful day, and it's actually a beautiful week. We heading to Dubai tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. We need to kind of get away from America for a little bit, only just a little bit, And so I know you're excited about that.
Oh, most definitely. I'm asleep on that plane.
Yeah, that's a long flight, but I'm looking forward to it. And just got good news today that I'm probably going to be going to Tanzania in July. I just found out right before we went on the air.
That's
So
great news.
I'm excited about this guest that we got on the show today. I tell you, it's this guy doing so many things, especially getting people in shape, training athletes, and he's a professional athlete himself. So, Michelle, can you do the honors and introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest?
Oh, most definitely. So the title of today's show is called Progress in the Kitchen, Family Connection to Health and Fitness. So we're having a conversation with Justen Smith. He is a military veteran, entrepreneur, and a professional athlete. He's going to discuss reflections on his childhood journey in the military, suicide, the why, and the competition in nonprofits. So again, Justen Smith, he's military veteran, professional athlete. He has a passion for mentoring and coaching. Drawing on his discipline and experience, he is dedicated to helping athletes reach their full potential, both physically and mentally. He combines his background in professional sports with a commitment to fostering growth, confidence, and excellence in his athletes and clientele. His goal is to inspire and guide athletes to become the best version of themselves on and off the field. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Justen Smith.
How you doing, my friend? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Doing good.
Man, so happy to have you on the show. I told you I'm gonna get you on sooner or later. So,
You got me.
oh man, I tell you what, man. Besides what Michelle just and how she introduced besides what she said and introducing you, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about Justen Smith, where you grew up, why you're so passionate about what you're doing, and some of the things that you're training for?
Wow. First of all, I got to thank God for this opportunity. And more about me. My kiddos believe that I'm a great father and that I'm the number one dad, first of all. So I am a family man. But I grew up in a small town in deep East Texas near Louisiana. So played just about every sport. Grew up on the farm, raised hogs, chickens, and just about any farm animal that you could think of. So that's a little bit more about me.
I can relate to growing up on the farm, pigs and chickens, and we had a mule, all of that great stuff. And I think it'd be a character. It certainly be a character because everybody have a job that they have to do and have to do it on time in the proper amount of time. So if you have one word, one adjective to describe Justen, what adjective would that be and why?
I had thought about this question quite a bit because there's a handful of them, and I think everybody has a few. There's two that's mainly a tie, and the one that I'll go to, I'll say patient and trustworthy. Those are kind of those go neck and neck with me, but I'm a patient person. I'm a patient man in general, just because of how I grew up, how hard I grew up in the experiences, that got me to where I'm at today.
I think those are two great adjectives right there. And I can tell that you are patient and dedicated to the things that you're passionate about. So let's talk a little bit about the title of the show. The title of this show is In the Kitchen, Family Connection to Health and Fitness. Can you explain to our audience what that means to you?
It means everything because first of all, some of the Facebook friends and family have heard me speak of this term, progress in the kitchen, PITK, progress in the kitchen, but I never really elaborated on it. Nobody really asked, but my students very well may know, and their parents, some of their parents know, progress in the kitchen. Progress in the kitchen to me is basically what everybody has gone through on this planet, meaning especially those that have family values and traditional family values. We usually sit around at the table, or when we eat supper, or anytime that we eat together, we're more bonded with the family when we sit down and eat together. And I think nowadays, as I've gotten older, and even growing up, I didn't really have that chance to sit down with a mom and dad and to sit down at the table and discuss real issues and real problems within, not only within the home, but what's happening in our community. And that was a traditional thing that was done around me. And I know growing up, especially in the United States, we did that a lot, where the family sat down for supper time and ate and discussed what was going on. And so progress in the kitchen, you made progress in the kitchen when you were able to sit down and talk with one another, right? Whether it was bad or good, you got to discuss it, you got to process it, and you learn more about your children. You learn more about your mom and dad. You learn about what was going on. And so I tie that into why the kids do what they do. And I ask them why they do what they do. And a lot of it comes back to the family values that they know and what they've learned. And I connect to with what they eat. First of all, is very important. How they can eat better, different ways that they can eat together as a family, and that sort of thing. So PITK, that's really what that's about.
Man, I like how you explain that, man. Never heard it put like that before, because right now most families don't eat together. They'll sit around at the table and talk and discuss things that happen during their day, because that was educational. But I think pretty much, certainly we need to bring it back. And we are getting a lot better in my household like that right now. So wow. So who was your role model when you was growing up? Did you have one, two, or many? Who did you look up to that's you thought, I want to be similar like that person, but I'm still going to be Justen?
Wow. That was a hard one to think of right there, because I really didn't have a role model. I was the type of person that felt like I didn't fit in, or was able to do, not able to do, I take that back, was able to navigate the way everybody else does. And it wasn't necessarily that I didn't have a role model, but there was a person that I really, really looked up to that I lost at an early age. And that was one of my aunties. And she had a tragic, thing happen to her, but she was my number one support of anything that I've not only learned, but especially the creative side of me. She supported everything, and she encouraged me, and she saw me. She seen me for who I was. She was the only person I really think growing up who really was able to get me. And that was my Aunt Deborah Smith.
Aunt Deborah Smith. Yeah. Tell you what, we're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back. We got a lot more Justen Smith coming your way. And if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith and learning come together to transform lives. At VCU, we believe that education is more than just academics. It's about fostering a community of growth, integrity, and purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, VCU offers flexible, affordable, and 100% online degree programs that cater to your busy life. Our innovative platform provides a personalized learning experience, empowering you to thrive in today's ever-evolving world. Join a global community of learners guided by an experienced faculty who are committed to your success. With VCU, you're not just earning a degree, you're preparing for a future that integrates faith, leadership, and service. Viridian Christian University, educating with purpose, transforming lives. Learn more at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and just having a sit-down discussion with my buddy, Justen Smith. We call him Jess, and he does so many great things, especially as you heard him in the first segment, training a lot of athletes, kids, and he is an athlete himself. I think your primary race is the 400.
Yes, but I have been testing the waters in the 200 and the 100.
A fast guy. So you were talking about your aunt being your role model. That is so inspiring. You said that she saw you for who you are, encouraged you, and showed you love. Can you pick it up right there again?
Yeah. No. I can be so many things, like, a jack of all trades, but I would literally do my best to master every single thing that I did. And she, from drawing, sketching, and dancing and writing, I still do all those things to this day. And she really encouraged that in me. I used to draw the comics in the newspaper. I'm kind of telling my age. Hold on, won't tell me.
Newspapers.
But the newspaper, I used to draw, Garfield and all those things, and I began to make my own characters. But she was the one who really gave me the energy. She gave me the energy just by her support, because it wowed her. The things that I would do, it would wow her, and it would make her joyful, because there was a lot of times I didn't see her as joyful until we talked about the things that I did.
Wow. So let's talk about your stint in the military. First of all, what or who inspired you to join the military, and what was your experience like in the military, and what branch were you a part of?
Armed forces. I was part of the Army, U.S. Army, and I kind of went in head first. The war, it was right after 9/11. So right after 9/11, I jumped in head first. And the main reason was, first of all, because of my son. My son was about to be born, and I wanted to make sure that he was taken care of. And but during that time, I jumped in during wartime, OIF, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and so that was the main reason I joined.
Well, what was your experience like in the military? And what lessons did you learn in the military that you live by today? So let's talk about your experience and what lessons you've learned.
The experience, I'll keep it short as far as the experience. It just wasn't a good experience for me, but I would say this: I learned a lot about where we are as a country, and I learned a lot about how everyone sees us in this country, how their perception of who they believe we are as a people in the United States of America. I learned a lot about that, and connecting with people and how they feel about our nation and how they feel about others.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, I like to lean more on that experience because that's always been heavy on my heart as a child anyway. But being on the front lines is kind of,
Yeah.
a little different. So.
Okay. So, you titled this show Progress in the Kitchen, Family Connection to Health and Fitness Matters. Tell us, first of all, what does that title mean? And how does it all start in the kitchen and it relates to health and fitness?
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, with talking in the kitchen, it's like our families are more bonded when we fix a meal together, when we sit down and, I'm a man of faith and, bless over the food and talk about what's going on in the neighborhood or what's going on around each other and how we could be involved and be positive in the community. So that's where Progress in the Kitchen comes from.
Okay. So, health and fitness,
Yeah.
when did you really start getting into that? And you're a professional athlete as well. Can you kind of tell us about that? And I can see how fitness is a part of that, but how have you take it to another level, especially what you're doing now?
Wow, health and fitness. Well, I growing up, I seen quite a bit on how what not only family but people around me what they consumed as far as what they drank and what they ate, and I literally saw what it did to them, and I was like, well, I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to feel like that, and I don't want to like. And a lot of those things I don't like, which is crazy. I mean, a lot of the things that my family ate, a lot of the things that people I was associated with, the things that they ate, I didn't eat. I neither liked the taste or I didn't like the way it made my body feel. And so I've been an athlete all my life, and I always heard or read that, you should be careful of what you put in your body. And also, because the Bible, the Lord says your body is your temple. And so I looked at it from both those perspectives and really use that as far as my health and just being fit. I've been an athlete all my life, and I just carried on with that and just kept teaching myself with the experience and just trying to better myself, basically.
So you're an athlete. What type of sport? What was your main sport that you were a part of?
That wasn't necessarily a main sport. I played them all roughly the same in my childhood. Basketball was my favorite though.
Oh,
Like
okay.
a lot of these guys say they put up 1,000 shots and stuff like that. I did that. I would be up 2 or 3 in the morning, like not even slept, and had to go to school because I was outside dribbling on rocks and grass, trying to perfect my game and my dribble and shooting. And I would shoot like over 1,000 shots. I lose count sometimes, but there was one thing that I did. I would do my best to go what we used to call around the world and make 50 shots in a row from the bank to the outside to a free throw and then on around. So basketball was my jam.
Well, let's talk about other athletes that you coach. So there's so many different ways to coach person, physically and mentally. How did you get started with the coaching aspect? And is there certain areas in the coaching that you wanted to target when it comes to your clientele?
Wow, coaching. Again, growing up, especially as I got into high school, some of my peers saw me as a coach because some people would ask me certain things for me to teach them. And then, of course, getting into the military, on the fit side, people could see the things that I did in the military and wanted to be able to do the same. They wanted to be fit. They wanted to do this. And so just like that, it just kept building and kept building. And as I got out of the military, the short of it is I started to do a lot more mentoring for new soldiers that were coming into the military and helped with a program that the military started called Recruit Sustainment Program, which was help the newcomers get fit and teach them how to shoot and all the things, right? And so that's how Coach just ran off with that. And I wanted to teach the younger generation to help them build longevity for time to come.
Oh, okay. Well, how do you, and I know there's no one size fits all, but in your coaching, is there do you have a coaching method that you apply to all your clientele, which has to be, across the board? Coaching involves discipline, not only physically, but also mentally. Yes. Did you find any challenges regarding that?
And no, it came naturally because I went through most of the trials already. I've had so many injuries and from military and then coming into professional sports and overcome quite a bit. And so I tied that into not only the experience, but just the things that majority of athletes and people with these injuries or ailments go through. I've had those challenges. And so being not only self-taught, but continue to educate myself from mentors of mine and learning from the best who do the best in their sector and learn from them and just package it all together. So my method is, really, really strong in how I make the approach to each person. And that's for recovery.
Oh, okay.
Recovery is the main thing.
Well, Dr. Cooley here, he also was a coach as well. He can tell you a little bit about that. We have about 2 minutes before we go into the break, but James, Justen was just going in about his coaching with athletes, his clientele, but not only physically, but on a mental perspective. So, we want to talk a little bit more about the mental, especially when it comes to competitiveness and being the best, and also maybe learning how to accept defeat. So I'm going to leave you with that.
I don't know about accepting defeat. No. I have to win at everything.
No L's. No L's.
Yeah, man. So, I did coach basketball, football, baseball. Played all the sports. But teaching and watching the kids and even grown-ups mature into something, just like I know you work with a lot of folks on getting their fitness right, and you teach a lot of these the kids how to be a great athlete because it comes from the heart.
Oh yeah.
And I see that in you. But I tell you what, we're going to take a station break. But we're going to come back. We got a lot more, Justin. We got a lot more we're going to discuss. Whichever platform that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
In this life you are gonna grow, but there's things in this world that you gotta know. To be the best that you can be, you wanna grow real big into a strong tree. To be who you're created to be, the one who's gonna leave a legacy is you. But you got to have these 4 C's. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. It's the 4 C's. Oh yeah. It's the 4 C's.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. Heart disease research saves lives. It's that simple. Thanks to medical advancements funded by the American Heart Association, more women are surviving heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases than ever before. But there's still so much work to do.
Hi, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm raising funds to support life-saving research because every heartbeat is worth fighting for. In honor of Women's History Month, please join me in support of the American Heart Association and women's health.
Life is filled with circles and cycles, phases and stages that shape who we are. These moments define us, and we have the choice to either accept or embrace them. Hello, I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley, and I encourage you to support the J.C. Cooley Scholarship You Can Award so we can empower high school seniors and college students to believe that they can achieve anything they set their minds to.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, the host of It's Your Life Radio and also founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. With your help through donations to this year's J.C. Cooley Foundation Scholarship Award, we aim to inspire, prepare the next generation of leaders. We kindly ask for your generous support to help bless at least 30 or more future leaders by donating between a minimum of $250 or more. Please consider donating what you can by May 1st and join us in shaping our future leaders of tomorrow.
Dr. J.C. Cooley. It's the J. Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I'm having a discussion with Justen Smith. I call him Coach Jess. He's a coach by all means. Life, fitness, spiritual. Just a great man. Just a great man. Oh. And you heard him talk about family. Family means so much. And it should mean a lot to you as well. So Jess, I want to go back into the military. How long was you in the military?
Nearly a decade. Served
a
little over 8 years. Yep.
8 years. What do you miss mostly about the military, if you do at all?
Nothing. No. No, I miss the camaraderie of some of my guys and just teaching then and doing cadence and getting ready to load up. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
that's be the only thing I miss, really.
Yeah, I spent 23 years in myself, and you know, when I got out the military, I was kind of still in the military because I went to the Pentagon, and I'm still at the Pentagon work. But it was a great time. Now, so you have mentioned that you want to talk. Uh, One thing on your talking points was suicide. Why do you want to discuss this?
Well, it was more so suicide prevention, which ties into everything is really close knit as far as PITK and where that comes from. Because, not to dive into it, I was at that place, and the reason why I do what I do, there's, whether you're in your 50s, 60s, and whether it's somebody in their 20s, we talk about so much the next generation is important, but it seems like we're missing the gaps, and there's two huge gaps that play out more and more every day. And what I mean by those gaps is like the kids from middle school to high school, right? That's where they're being able to process and retain a lot more information. And it seems like their mentality, not only their mentality and what they do, but their mindset and what their goals are and the things that they want to do in life is not defined by anything, right? Like their moral compass is off, and we're having more suicides there. And then you have, whether it's soldiers or any armed forces that come back from war and things like that, and how we've treated them over the years and decades, and how they come back to us as civilians, which you don't go back to being a civilian. Once you're a soldier, you're a soldier. Once you're armed forces, you're armed forces. There's no going back. And so I say that to say those are the two main gaps, I believe, all over the world where we're missing it. We're missing it. And so I'm very passionate about that.
I believe that that's something that needs to be talked about a lot more because you're talking PTSD.
Yes.
Coming back from the military, especially if you've been in the war zone and seeing people get killed and all of those type of things, it's kind of put a strain on the mind. And it's things that we just can't forget. And we all have probably been in that place at one point or another. I'm talking about where you probably had thought about suicide. I have no purpose on this earth, or all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
By talking about it a lot more, you never know who's listening to you. Meaning when you discuss and you talk about it.
That's what I've learned. This is 20 years in the making. This is 20 years in the making. I didn't even want to, I wouldn't say want to, but not even talk about it, and the more the question comes about PTSD and what you've experienced and who you talk to and who you coach, I've seen more people that not only need it, but more of the perspective and heal from it. And I'm still healing from it. And it's a day-to-day thing. It's a day-to-day thing. And if anything, when it comes to those challenges, if I can do anything to help, just being a coach and being there for whoever and however, I'm going to do my best. And so that's one of the main reasons I do what I do and why I am who I am.
And that's so important to, just like I mentioned, to talk about it, especially with our youth. And some of them at a stage where they feel that they have no purpose and they haven't even started living life.
Yeah.
And but people don't talk about it that much like they should.
Yeah.
So I just like I said, I think all of us has been down that path, especially the military.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like with these kids, they're all really they're receiving a lot of this information and they're talking about the same things, but they haven't really processed any of the information. And we used to process things together because we didn't have a phone growing up. When I grew up, you really have a phone. You rode bikes and you went everywhere. You did a lot of things together. You talked it out or you fought it out. It was one of those things. But when it comes to these kids nowadays, they're receiving too much information and not being able to process it. And when they go through something emotionally, they become numb to it because even if it's good, right? Let's take the good side of it. If they see something really cool on Instagram or something, like, these kids have a lot of creative juice. Like, they're doing some phenomenal things that they're not even praising each other for. Like, they're not being positive and being really uplifting to each other. And they're doing some incredible things, but they're like, oh, well, can you do something better? Can you do this? And why didn't you do it this way? So they're getting so much information. They're not even processing it. They're not even feeling it. And so they're just numb to whether it's bad, good, or sad, whatever the case may be. And so they have no direction in how they feel about something to be excited about and to go help somebody else or be positive in general.
Wow. You hit it on the nose. Do you teach the kids when you're training them to always maintain a positive attitude, always look for the good in everything? Even in a negative situation, there is some good. And can you talk about that a little bit?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's all the time. Because as a coach, you are teaching, and not only you take from your experience, but the thing where I feel like I'm blessed with the gift in teaching is meeting them where they are. And I believe most adults and teachers today are missing it with their students, not by meeting them where they are and accepting them for who they are, but teaching them not only different options of handling situations and being mindful of the choices that they make. And so I shed light on a lot of positive actions, things that they can already do for themselves to get them in the mindset of being positive towards someone else, and simply by treating others as you would be treated. I start there first. Like, if you don't want somebody to do this to you, don't do it to them, if they've already done something or if they've seen something happen, right? It's like, let's start. How do you feel about you? How do you feel about yourself? What are you doing to enjoy this moment, like in this time? And that's when I really get them. When I ask those couple of questions right there, they start to think. They start to get creative and think about how they can make themselves feel better as far as like being positive and doing what they do.
Wow, man. I tell you, when I go speak at my next school, I'm bringing you in there.
Let's go. I get that. These kids are babies, and they're like, I treat them like my own when I talk to them, and they sense that and they feel that. And again, a lot of these teachers and coaches, they don't remember that they were a child at one point and they were looking up at an adult, and they don't see what they see, but I meet them where they are. And so I just press into that, man.
Wow. I tell you what, we got to take another break. Got to pay the bills, so I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching us on, and if you're listening to this great man right here, you can feel the passion, because he want to teach, he want to train, he want to help as many people as possible. So when we come back, I'm gonna tell you how you guys can help him as well. So we're gonna have to take a station break, but if you want to be part of the conversation, just go to the platform, go to the comments on that platform, ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
At Viridian Christian University, we believe education is more than just a degree. It's a pathway to a purpose-driven life. Whether you're advancing your career, pursuing a passion, or building a new future, VCU's 100% online programs give you the flexibility to learn on your terms, anywhere, anytime. With expert faculty, personalized mentorship, and a faith-centered approach, you'll gain the skills, knowledge, and leadership you need to make a lasting impact. VCU offers bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees, each designed to empower you for success in today's fast-changing world. Join a global community of believers, learners, and leaders. Ready to start your journey? Viridian Christian University, transforming lives, empowering futures. Visit us at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. That's ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. And I tell you, just having a great discussion with Coach Just. And wow, I kind of reminisced during the commercial break because what we were talking about was suicide prevention. And many of us have been to that point where we just needed to hear positive information of something to get us off the bridge or whatever. And how you explained that just was so well received. And you also talked about the youth, how you go about letting them know that there's some positive and even negative things. You know, so I'm going to pick it back up with that, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Cooley.
Yes. Oh, you picking up with that, James?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking a question. Okay. So, Justin, you know, with your, I mean, do you have any additional comments regarding the topic you had with James regarding suicide, or is there something you want to just say to the audience?
There's so much to elaborate on. I just, don't give up. That's all I can
Yes.
think about right now. Like,
That's
there's a quote that, and I don't really attach myself to many quotes. There's so many out there, but
mhm.
can't never could. And I got
Mhm.
that from my cousin, who's like an aunt slash mom slash grandma to me to this day. Shadell, can't never could. And growing up from just a boy, I've lived by that, can't never could. And so that's one of the terms that keep me going. And when I see my kiddos, you know, just
Just struggling.
excuse me,
It's okay.
just
Take your time.
when it comes to my babies, man. Um
It's a sensitive subject. It's an emotional one too.
um
So,
yep,
oh,
when they come to mind, it's like, you know, I just gotta, it's go time, and I look to the Lord who gives me strength, and that's
amen. Amen to that.
so yeah.
So let's talk about, athletes when, what is your way when you're trying to build mental resilience in
Okay.
your athletes, especially after a tough loss or like,
Yeah.
whether it
Yeah.
was just a nail biter at the end, or maybe it was just a complete blowout like that NBA game yesterday with
Yeah. Yeah. No, and so I've had it's so much I've had in that, like, you know, I'm running professionally now, right? And you know, and back then track was a big thing for me. I just love the work. I love the work, and I love to see my family and like my cousins. I love to watch them perform, you know, and it was just fun to be around, you know.
Mhm.
And there were so many things that happened, and it's like, man, we could have won, we could have this, and you know, and just, you know, from injuries to like even being one of the fastest team in the state and not get the baton around on relays and stuff like that growing up, man. It's just, you know, and all of those things, and then coming into the adult life and nearly losing my life for, you know, training for the Olympics and
Mhm.
all those things. And so I just pour that out on them. I'm like, you know, not just to look at me, but I push out the example of how I did it, what I continue to push through.
Mhm.
And then I just throw that on them. But then I show them their strengths and their weaknesses. And we put them both together for them to work on for themselves, for them to see not only physically, but challenge themselves and how they can think through a lot of the things that they deal with.
Wow. So how do you create a supportive environment, when there's a lot of competition, but you also want your the players to be accountable, and also how, whether they win or lose, how this can contribute to personal growth.
Yeah. Being an example.
Mhm.
I'm all about being, especially when it comes to sports, right? If you're giving the effort and you're giving it your all, the rest will take care of itself. And don't ever feel like you felt short of like not doing the best that you can if you did give it all, right? And part of the environment also used as a physical aspect too of being outside, being grounded, being outside in the elements, so you can feel the air, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, you know, whether it's raining, whether it's anything, right? So you have all these things that are taking away from your comfortability.
Mhm.
Like, how comfortable am I, and how can I deal with that? How can I manage that? How can I get stronger and get through that if I have something that's taking away from me being comfortable? And
Exactly.
so I teach in that way.
So how do you handle your clients when competition gets out of hand and you want to teach them about respectful behavior on and off the field, I mean, competition's great. We're all excited, we're all ramped up, just, throwing words out there just to rile up the other team. But how do you enforce the message of, hey, this is great, but you got to be respectful, not only with your words, but also your actions on the field?
Yes. Man, I'm so old school when it comes to this part. And it's like, a lot of these kids don't understand too. And it's good for me because I, number one, understand it and how they feel. And so the way I teach them, it's tough love. It is hard love. And so they get that from me, but then I roll it over into how they can use that to better themselves at whatever they do. But respect the competitor, whether it's, whether you're playing football, whether you're playing basketball, you knock somebody on their butt in football, you pick them up, tell them good job. Hey, let's do it again. Let's see who's the best, right? I've always taught in that way because that's how I grew up. And so I have them go through that same thing. I teach them how to really dig deep in themselves and just get it out.
Wow. You know what, man? We're down to the last minute of the show. Justin, can you give our viewers and our listeners 3 takeaways that you want them to take from this great discussion? And I'm inviting you back on the show again.
Man, that's a blessing.
3 takeaways.
3 takeaways for me?
Yeah. That you want our viewers to get from this discussion.
Oh, gotcha. Wow, that's actually a good question. I mean, one,
I got it for you.
Okay.
Passion about everything that you do.
Yep.
Put your heart into it. Put your heart into the things that you do. Surround yourself or be around people that you can learn something from.
Yes.
And always believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Michelle, you got anything? 30 seconds or less?
No, this has been an amazing discussion. Thank you for taking the time to talk about your work and your background. And again, we invite you back to the show.
And always dream big, think big, and be big. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Is your life from Dubai.